So if you want to take your Afrobeat drums and percussions to the next level, make sure to stay with me because you will learn a lot from this channel. So without wasting much time, let's get right into it. So yeah, this is one of my beats I recently posted on my YouTube channel. As you can see, the beat is already mixed, but I'll take you through how I arrange the drums and percussions, how I mix everything, not necessarily how I arrange them, but how I mix them. But before, let's listen to how the percussions and the drums sounds like. Yeah, so as you can hear, the drums sound glued and they are sounding nice. I intentionally added the bass for you to hear the corresponding of the kick and the bass. You can see each of them are in their own frequency. They are playing nice and clean. I have seen most producers asking me how many dB should I put my kick, how many dB should I put my snare and percussions. These are all misconceptions many producers have in their mind that there are certain dBs you should put your kick and your snare. These are all false information because if I tell you to put your kick around 9 dB, my kick might be different from yours. So it doesn't work that way. Yeah, so you should forget those kind of misconception about putting certain of your instrument in certain dBs. And also, this is my session. As you can see, I have my percussion, my snare, my kick, and my extra percussions over here. So as you can see, I have all my drums routed to a drum bus over here. So I can control all my drums through this drum bus in FL Studio. So let me show you how to create this group. First, you have to select all your drums. Yeah, so these are all my drums. I have already routed it to this drum bus. Let me remove it. So to do this, you come to this arrow over here and right click, and this will come route to this track or route to this track only. I will advise you to select the route to this track only because it will only route to that drum bass you are selecting. But if you choose route to this track, it will duplicate, the sound will duplicate itself because it will route to this drum bass and at the same time route to the master bass, as you can see over here. So avoid doing that. Always route to this track only so that the sound will pass through the drums and from the drums to the master bass. That is the best way we do it. So yeah, that is the first tip. Make sure you route all your drums to your drum bass so you have full control over your drums. Yeah, and also my melodies, as you can see, I have my melodies routed to my melodic bass so that I can control my melodies separately. Yeah, so these are some few things you must know anytime you are mixing your beats. Yeah, so one thing I always do is I take my gain staging very serious. Yeah, because as you can see, I am controlling the volumes over here before it's reached to the mixer rack over here. At the end of the day, I don't want to be distorting my sound. So this is the original volume of the samples you are using. This one are pre-faders. These volumes, they are just pre-faders, but this is the actual volume of the sound. Yeah, so always make sure you bring them down. Yeah, because the plugins you put on this one, anytime you change the volume here, it will affect how the plugins work, but these volumes doesn't affect those plugins. So let me do an example for you. So let me take my kick for example. Let me put Fat Filter Pro Q3 on it. As you can see, it's hitting around 10 dB. Imagine I boost my kick volume. As you can see, it's heading to negative 4 dB. But if I lower it, as you can see, it is low. As you can see, the volume is coming down, but if I increase it, it goes up. But let me do that in the mixer fader and see what I'm talking about. But for the mixer fader, even if I bring the volume down, still you can see it's hitting around the 10 dB. Even if I boost it, it's still hitting the same dB. So these volumes are the volumes that affect the sound, but not the mixer channel volume. So always make sure you do your gain reduction over here. If the volume of your kick is too much, make sure you reduce them here, but not here. Yeah. And after you get the volumes over here right, you can do further volume changes over here. And that is another tip you must know. In Afrobeat production, our percussions are always crispy and sharp, and the attack is very hard. There's one thing you must know when mixing your Afrobeat percussion. So to get this kind of sharp and attacking percussion, you need to apply something called Transient Shaper. So as you can see, I have my Transient Shaper on these percussions over here. Yeah, so I reduce the sustain over here a little bit, about I think negative 2.8 dB, so that my percussions can be crispy and it will cut through my mix. So let me turn off this Transient Shaper and let's listen to how this percussion sounds. And turn on. Yeah, so as you can see, they sound crispy and clean. Yeah, so I can't tell you mix your drums this way, add this compressor, add this EQ to it, because each sample is different. Yeah, I always tell you there are certain tips and tricks you must know, but I won't feed you telling you to do this exactly as I am doing. It doesn't Mixing doesn't work that way. So I will just give you the basic tips you can use to do this. So as I told you, you create your group and you do your gain staging, and also avoid those misconceptions that you need to put your kick on this dB, you need to put your snare on this dB, because every producer has its own samples. Each samples has their own way of working. So I think that will be all for these tutorials. Thank you for watching me once again. I am Mirakilouz Beatz. Peace out.